Adventurous Carrie here. I'm at Lazarus Brewing Company number 2 in Austin, Texas. We're going to be here for a couple of days, not at the brewery, but in Texas, visiting my son Rajan, and we'll let you know how everything goes. Lazarus Brewing Company believes beer brings people together. They make almost 43,000 gallons of beer per year at each location. Almost all of it is consumed on the premise. With 16 taps at their original location, they brew 70 unique style brands throughout the year. This location of Lazarus is brand new, opened within this past year. And Rajan works at this location. Rajan told me that Lazarus Brewing Company recently won 4 gold medals at a beer competition in the United States, and they're quite proud of that. Afterwards, he gave me a tour of the facility and showed me a lot of their unique techniques that they use, but he asked that I not video it. The owner was not on premise, and so he wasn't sure what he was allowed to say and do. But afterwards, we went and we tried some of the beers. A South African artist did the glass artwork in this metal sculpture in the ceiling, which is cool. They're also dog friendly, and Henry certainly loved hanging out here. Besides beer, Lazarus Brewing Company also roasts their own coffee, and they're really into Mexican street food, tacos, tortas, and more. I enjoyed every beer Rajan introduced me to. Maybe I'm not just a wine drinker anymore. Lazarus is an award-winning brew pub founded on Christmas Eve 2016 on East 6th Street in downtown Austin. Their new location is on Airport Boulevard by the airport. John was busy on Friday night, and so George wanted to hear live music, so it was back to Austin City Limits. It's the longest-running music series in television history, the name behind the exciting and successful music festival in Austin. Created by Austin PBS KLRU TV and broadcast on PBS for 43 years, Austin City Limits TV has become an institution. Austin City Limits Live at the Moody Theater opened in 2011 in downtown Austin, where all the happening things are going on. Country singer Willie Nelson in October of 1974 was the first to perform on Austin City Limits, so the Moody Theater placed a statue in his honor. Coincidentally, on this night, we were to see Willie's son, Lukus Nelson, perform live here at Austin City Limits.
Entirely different stores.
I wish I could play the whole songs, but there are copyright laws about that. So here are a few photos, and I'll bring some other music back. When George and I were in Padre Island National Seashore, we met a gentleman that grew up with Lukus Nelson when he lived in Maui, and that was a really interesting story that he told us. But me, was really pleasantly surprised by Lukus Nelson.
If I didn't love you, how could I know what really makes you happy? Especially when it's cold up. With my baby doesn't love me, I'm gonna give you a light up tonight.
George has seen Lukus Nelson and Promise of the Real many times in the past, but this was my first time and I was really impressed. After the show, we went and walked around downtown Austin and took in all the lights. It was pretty spectacular at night in the downtown area. The next morning, we got up on Saturday and we tried to see the solar eclipse outside of Rajan's apartment. But where we were in Austin wasn't ideal. Later in the day, Rajan took us to one of his favorite restaurants, the Fresh Bowl. It's a Vietnamese cuisine restaurant, and it was absolutely delicious. I can see why Rajan likes to come back here time and again. The food was just superb, and we had plenty of leftovers. On Sunday, we decided to take Sir Henry on a walk around Lady Bird Lake just to get some exercise. We are at Lady Bird Lake in Austin, Texas, walking on the 2-mile trail around the lake where you can bike, ride, run, whatever your fancy. They have a nice kayak launch right here. Several kayaks we've seen out on the water. Looks like they have kayak rentals and stand-up paddle boards to enjoy on the lake. This walk, named after the First Lady, Lady Bird Johnson, has a mix of nature and city life, which makes this walk intriguing, as well as art. A little bit of artwork on the trail. Mexican American Cultural Center opening in 2025. Lots of construction going on around here. That's a big turtle. What kind do you think he is? It's not really a box turtle. Look at that tail. The perch is a great place to stop and rest and have a drink and overlook the water. The Austin Rowing Club is a great place to get in shape. They offer lessons on rowing, kayaking, and stand-up paddleboard. Since Sir Henry is short and blind, George carried him down the steep steps. This is the bridge that I sat under 2 years ago when I watched thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands bats come out right at dusk. In my understanding, billions of bugs are eaten during the night before they return at 6 a.m. Lady Bird Lake is one of the biggest recreational areas, attracting over 2.1 million visitors every year in the Austin, Texas area. My son earlier told us that this trail going around the lake was only 2 miles. Well, we have since learned that it's 10 miles, and that's a little too much for Sir Henry. So when we got to Congress Avenue Bridge, we crossed over and we are shortening our trip. Henry will leave no trash can unsniffed. Exactly. I never get tired of turtles. They're just hanging out on a log. And there's more right over there, just sunning themselves. It's my understanding that Austin, Texas is one of the most fit cities in the country. And we see a lot of people walking, riding their bikes, and also this electric bike that George and I want to try the next time that we don't have Sir Henry with us. But it looks like a lot of fun and a great way to go around this lake. There they are right there. And so next time we come, we're going to try them out. We also caught a pink boat in action on the lake. So much fun. I was trying to decide if I wanted to walk this maze, but instead I just admired it. George and Henry are heading back to the van while I admire this statue. To where we statue actually honors Ignacio Nash Hernandez Sr., who was a trumpet player, and then during World War II he discovered his love for the big bands. In 1949 he formed the Nash Hernandez Orchestra and played for many social and political events. After his death in 1994, his son Dave has continued under the direction of succeeding a generation of the Hernandez family, is still reaching fans and keeping Latino and big band music alive. We ended up walking 4.5 miles on this trail, and Henry was wiped out. That night, I made schnitzel, a German dish, for my son and his best friend and roommate, Nick. They really enjoyed having a home-cooked meal. The next morning, it was time for us to move on, so we stopped to see my son again and pick up some souvenirs. Lazarus Brewing Company is pet-friendly and kid-friendly. They have awesome beer here that they brew, and they've won 4 gold medals recently. So come on by and try out their beer. We enjoyed having Rajan host us at Lazarus Brewing Company number 2. It was a lot of fun and we really enjoyed ourselves. Thanks for watching our time here in Austin, Texas. We're now on the road headed towards Nevada with a couple of stops in New Mexico. Please like and subscribe as we give you updates on our 7-week road trip around the country. And remember, IAPOTA, it's all part of the adventure.